So we demand answers. And to the governor and all of those who are sending their condolences, this family don't need artificial tears. This family needs answers. And that's what we're going to get. At this time, we'll bring to the podium Jovian's mother, Miss Tamika Motley. Mrs. Tamika Motley, excuse me.
I don't even understand how we got here. My son did everything right.
Yes.
He was following the law.
Yes.
He was a productive citizen.
Yes, ma'am.
He went to work.
Right. Yeah.
Every day.
As a mother, and he's worked countless hours in the community working with peace rallies, no more bloodshed, and all of that, you know.
Right.
I don't understand how this happened, because a kid like that should not be killed at work.
Right.
And when I called the prison, I couldn't get any answers. I was told that the paramedics was there. The paramedics hadn't made it. I was told there was life flight coming. Life flight was canceled. And to this day, I have no answers.
No.
And as a mother, you're concerned about your kids walking around the street and being gunned down in the street.
Right.
And I fought, my husband and I fought to keep him from being a victim on these streets.
Yes, ma'am. You sure did.
And today I want to know, how is it that he's a victim in TDCJ?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I want answers. I want accountability.
Yes.
And I'm not going to fight until we know exactly what happened.
Yes.
He went in there with, it was 5 of them went in and 4 came out. It was pitch black. They couldn't see. And there's no answers. And to me, that's just not acceptable. And the calls that I got this evening is just damage control. I want real answers. I want real accountability. I want justice. I want to know what happened to my son on that night.
Yeah.
Because he went into there doing his job.
Right.
And if it was 4 of the four of the guards, they should have had his back.
Yeah.
Right.
Because my son would have had their back.
Right. Right.
My son would have made sure that he protected his man.
Yes.
He wouldn't have dropped the ball. He wouldn't have, cowered down. That's just not the type of person he is.
Right.
So I do believe that there's a cover-up. I do believe that they're not, telling us the whole truth. I believe that there's more to the story. And we're not going to stop until we get the answers.
That's right. Right. Thank you, Sister Tamika. Thank you for your strength and your resilience. We've always known you to be a strong sister.
Right on. Oh, yes.
But after seeing the way you're having to carry this, there's no doubt you're one of the strongest of the strong. At this time, we want to bring to the microphone Jovian's father, good brother. I witnessed certain parts of Jovian's childhood and watched him raise his son. Like I said to him earlier, bro, this is not your fault.
Right.
We as men, we as fathers, we have a perspective that anything that happens to our child is on us. But this was not your call, dear brother. And our condolences go out to you. And we want to let you know that as a community, we're here to wrap our arms around not just Tamika, but you too, my brother.
Amen.
Come on, Brother Elmer. Take your time, brother. We ain't got nowhere to be.
I just don't understand. What happened? What happened, man? How could this happen? What went wrong? And the fact that nobody has really gave us an official statement or anything is crazy to me. I don't talk too much, but man, This one hurt, man.
Yes, it
This one
hurts.
hurt. And it not only hurt me, it hurt the whole community. You know,
Yes.
because everybody loved him.
Oh,
Right,
yes.
right, right.
We want answers, man.
Man. Right now.
Before we take questions, let me say a few more things about Jovian. Jovian was not just down at the Wainwright unit as an employee. He was down at the Wainwright unit as a mentor for many of the young inmates in there. If you knew Jovian, you knew that 1,000-watt smile that he had. It would just light up a room.
Yes.
And like his father, he didn't say much. He was the type of person that spoke with his actions. I, as a community activist, met Jovian maybe 7 or 8 years ago when he was still a teenager. Jovian would come to community events, and he was always very helpful, always wanting to work, always looking to better himself, and always looking for a way that he could be an example to the young ones that were coming behind him. So I, as one of Jovian's mentors, am absolutely heartbroken that this could happen to someone that I know had a pure heart. A pure heart. He would never bother nobody that wasn't bothering him. So if there's anybody that I know that did not deserve this, it is Jovian. Jovian wanted to accomplish two things in life. Number one, he wanted to make his family proud. And number two, he wanted to reach back to young brothers and mentor them the way many of us tried to mentor him. He was blessed to accomplish both of those goals before he left this earth. But there were so many more people for him to help. There were so many more opportunities for him to make his family proud. There is no way that his life should have been cut short at this point.
No way.
So, again, we're down, but we're not out. We grieve, but we do not grieve as if though we don't have hope. We believe that just as sure as the sun gonna rise and shine in the morning, that justice for Jovian is going to be our reality. Questions? Any questions?
What did they say about how he died? Was he stabbed? Did he have a head injury?
So because we didn't get any answers. I got the call, I think about 7 p.m. I called the unit. I was told that they would call me back. Nobody ever called back. And at one point, they patched me through to the lieutenant, and the lieutenant put the phone down and said, "It's Motley's mom. I don't know what to tell her." And I could hear the frantic, they're just frantic in the background. And I'm like, we got to get out of here. I told my husband, we're just going to head toward Huntsville. Either we're going to meet him at the hospital or we're going to the unit. So 20 minutes till we got to the unit, we get a call from the warden. At that point, he said that they would wait till I got there to inform me. We went into the warden's office, and we were met with a bunch of officials and all of these different people, and it just overwhelming. And the only thing that they can say that there was a 5-man team. They went in to extract an inmate, and he is unconscious. They don't know. They said that they have to wait until the investigation and the autopsy. That's all the information we got.
How long between when you got that first phone call here and when you left to start your job?
About 3 hours.
So you didn't
And
start going up.
in that time, they said they were working on them. I spoke with a Sergeant Cooksey, who told me that Captain Cooksey, she said that the life flight had made it. When we got there, that wasn't true. The life flight had not made it. And then when the life flight did arrive, they canceled it.
Yeah.
Because at that point he was pronounced.
Did he have any other health issues?
No. And that was one of the narratives that they're trying to, and I'm glad you mentioned that because I want to dispel that. My son was healthy as an ox. He had no health issues at all.
Right.
He got up and worked out. He was an MMA fighter. He practiced jiu-jitsu. He stayed in shape. He had no health issues. And so for them to try to use that as a narrative is a disrespect to my husband and I. Because he went in there healthy. And he came out unalive.
Did he like his job? Did he say that he had concerns?
My son loved that job. We were on vacation and he talked about work the whole time. And we said, hey, we're on vacation. We're not talking about shop. He said, okay, one more thing. Let me tell you. He loved what he did and he loved those guys. They were like his family. And it's very disappointing that his family didn't have his back.
Can you talk a little bit more about who he was in life? What else did he like? What else?
My son was very adventurous. So when I was told that he went in as a 5-man team, it didn't surprise me. Because he was the type of guy that if there was something to be done, he's front line and center. He didn't fear much, you know, and if he loved something, he gave it 110%. He did, and everything that he did in his religious life and the community. He just gave 110% to everything he did.
Did it say he was the first one in, the last one in? Did they describe anything like that?
We got conflicting stories. Some said he was the first one in, and to my understanding, the first one is the shield person. And the shield person is just there to create a barrier. The shield is the first person. So if that's the case, there's 4 other guys stacked behind him.
Right.
So at the point that he went down, what was the other 4 doing?
Right.
And in a situation where they are limited for sight, it was dark. I understood they couldn't see their hands in front of them. That's how dark it was. In my opinion, they should have never been called into that cell.
Right.
They tried, pepper spray on the inmate. That didn't work. At this point, if he was unruly, keep him in the cell.
Right.
Nobody had to go in.
Right. Right.
My son would still be here today.
Right.
That's right.
A bad call was made,
Yes.
and it cost him his life.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right.
Did he live closer to the unit, or did he live here?
He lived here.
And he would drive there?
So he lived here, and then he also lived in what they called BLQ, which is like housing for correctional officers. So on the days that he worked, he stayed there on the unit, and then on his days off, he came home.
How long did he work there?
A year. It's been a year.
What brought him there? What made him want to do that initially?
His cousin. His cousin is a sergeant in TDCJ, and so she talked to him about it. She loved it. They're both daredevils, and she said, "Hey, you should really, consider it." And he went into the training, and he fell in love with it. Yeah.
Who is everybody here?
Family. All family. My mom, cousins, aunts, uncles. Yeah, his best friends. Yeah.
And these are just
Grandfather.
these are just the people who heard about it through the grapevine. But Jovian was loved to such a degree that if we don't get answers, you'll see an army come out. You'll see an army come out. And this is a classic case of a young, brilliant, ambitious, inner city brother who grew up in the city, had to avoid the traps and pitfalls to keep him out of prison. The goal is always for your child not to die in prison.
Right.
So he did an end around, got employed by the prison,
Yes.
was doing good for the prison and in the prison, and he still ended up dying in the prison.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, I've been around quite some time. I know when something is being swept underneath the rug. I know when people are covering their backs. Excuse me, their backsides. You know what I really want to say. And trying to shield themselves from liability. Again, we cannot be faulted even if we say something at this press conference that's not 100% true. We've had to do our own 24-hour investigation because they won't give us any facts. But you want to release a narrative to the public. You want to give us, you want us to believe your narrative without giving us facts. It doesn't make sense. I really think it was just a horrible judgment call. It does. You could send 10 people in there. If they can't see, ain't no telling what's going to happen.
Right.
If they can't see, it's a bad situation. It's a bad situation. But the Bible says it like this: what is done in the dark shall come to the light.
Yes.
Right. If we could put our booths here. We have one more speaker who just arrived. If he could come forward and share a few words with us, it's Dr. Abdul Halim Muhammad. He's the Southwest Regional Student Minister of the Nation of Islam.
Greetings and assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. We're here on behalf of Sister Tamika and Brother Ed and their family. These are the salt of the earth people. My job is here is to set a narrative. Is that these are people who are entrepreneurs, God-fearing people. They raise their children right. They've done right. And any time that we have had any kind of movement towards preventing violence in the community, particularly when it comes to youth violence, police misconduct, they've been the wind beneath our wings. They have done all that they could to build generational wealth among black people, to teach them financial literacy. I want to give you the background of these people, and that this is just not some people who do not deserve justice in the best. The taxpayers, property owners, and they've done right by their families, raising their families. So we want to set the kind of narrative that we don't share the same faith tradition, but we share the same kind of faith that justice must be done. We want justice. All we want is equal justice under the law. We want the law of justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed, class, or color. What happened with TDC? Our experience has been, having been the spiritual advisor to 2 death row inmates, we know that the state doesn't play well, that institutions protect themselves. That's the nature of the institution. And that those in the bureaucracy, they want to make sure they get all their ducks in a line before they release anything, and then they release it. And sometimes they do it very subtly. Well, did he have health problems? But he went into, this is an experienced correction officer who we believe was one of the lead ones to learn how to go in and to remove prisoners who perhaps are uncooperative from their cells. And now 5 went in, 4 came out, and we don't know why. And the delay to the family is a real injustice. Because as one who has done prison ministry and gone in every level of federal prison with exception of Leavenworth and Supermax in Colorado, I've traveled to all the levels of federal prison, state jails, jails and all throughout these states. And I know that the primary concern in the correction institution is the safety and security of the guards. In this particular case, it doesn't seem like they want to be as transparent with this family. And so this family, this community, these loved ones have come together with simply making an appeal. State of Texas, come clean and let the chips fall where they may. It is the truth that will set us free. And this is my sister's birth anniversary. This is her birthday. I want you to think about the irony of this. The child that she carried in her womb and gave birth to is now we're going to have to lay him to rest. But at the same time, the greatest birthday present that the state of Texas could give her and her husband is the truth. Tell the truth. We can accept the truth, but let it be the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir. If there are no more questions, we'll wrap up here. We began in prayer. I'm sorry, please.
Mrs. Motley, I'm
Yes,
just
please.
curious, so how many children do you have, and where does he fall?
He's actually the oldest. I have two. And my daughter is in the Navy, and we had to notify her over the phone. So she won't be here until tomorrow. So just imagine the heartbreak to get news that your only brother is no longer with us.
And they were close.
And they're very close. They're very close.
And did he grow up here and go to high school nearby, or some? Or
So he graduated from C. King High School.
okay.
Yes. He played football. He was active in school, in the community. He was just a light. My son was a bright light, and everyone loved him.
Right.
And it's ironic because the warden spoke so highly and said how heartbroken everyone at the unit was and how they loved him so. And, you know, where was that love that night? Love is an action word. If I love you, I'm going to show it. And, you know, there was no love shown. And to say that he spent countless hours working overtime, double shifts, and all of that, to not get any answers is just so disrespectful to who he was as an employee.
Right.
Did he ever talk about feeling unsafe or unsupported or understaffed or anything like that?
He did talk about them being understaffed. He mentioned that there was a situation, I think some months back, where one of the other units caught on fire and they had to move some inmates. And so they had a lot of challenges since then, and they were understaffed, but he was willing to do whatever he needed to do.
That's the prison that, set on fire
Yes.
back in June or so.
Yes.
Right, and let me point out that this happens at a time when the state is being very vocal about their difficulty in finding people to work in the prisons. 48 hours ago, some of us may have advised some of our young people to go and get a job there. Not no more.
No.
Not no more. It's not a good place to work. They should have a hard time finding people to work there if this is what their families have to face should an event like this take place. So we have one more speaker.
Yes, I come before you as Pastor Cedric Hesbeth of the Prayer Closet Church, but I'm not here on business, as you see. I was Jovian's godfather. The narrative I need you guys to leave here with: this young man was not your typical narrative black African male who got into trouble. Because the world loves to paint a picture of that male who's committing a crime or has a criminal record. He didn't have none of that.
No.
High school graduate, productive person, man of society, a loving brother, god brother, and we had to break the news to his god brother and sister how their big brother has passed away for no reason.
With no answers.
And I'm here to petition as a pastor to all the elected officials
Yes.
who petition my church when it's election time. When they call my phone when it's election time. When they show up interrupting my service for votes. If you're an elected official and you love us like you say you do, I need you to hold this accountable like it's important to you.
Yes.
Because this has just been a voting money, if I'm not mistaken, right? You pushed us to vote in the beginning of this month. So I need to push you to action right now.
Yes.
But this is my family. Our community. These are your voters you see here. These are the same people you petitioned to vote for you. So I'm holding you accountable to ask you questions just like we are. This is not a typical run-of-the-mill crime that you can brush under the rug.
Right.
He was doing a productive thing at his work of employment. We need answers, and this is not something that needs to be brushed under the rug. Don't do us like that.
Yes.
He dedicated his life to that job. He practiced. He knew all the rules. I need TDCJ to practice that same effort towards his justice.
Yes.
Answers. Do him right. Celebrate him right.
Yes.
Come out with the right answers. Speak clearly to what his life meant.
Yes.
And let this not be the same narrative that gets brushed under the rug for every young black male that we just forget about. And that's even an injustice right then. What about the ones who are doing the right thing, that grow up to be productive males in this society? We need those same answers, that same energy when they're doing protests and all those debates. Okay, put that energy into this right here.
Yes.
Because you're watching right now. You need my vote. You come to my church, you knock on my door, you interrupt us to petition my petitioners, my congregation for the votes. Okay, now we need your same energy.
Yes.
And I'm speaking as the pastor and his godfather, he's truly loved.
Oh,
This is heartbreaking.
Yes.
I promise you that. This is so heartbreaking. And we should not be standing here. We should not be standing here today. So those that are watching, city officials, we need you to step into action. And that's all needs to be said. Thank you, Brother Derek, for stepping up. Yes,
Can
sir.
you say and slowly spell your name for us?
Cedric. Last name Hedspeth, Hedspeth. Thank you.
Beautiful word, Pastor Hedspeth.
Yeah.
If there are no more questions, we'll go ahead and end our press conference. We know some of the media may have come late. If you need additional footage, just let us know. We will facilitate that. And again, we end the press conference with these words. To the governor, to TDCJ, this family does not need fake tears. This family needs answers. Pastor.
Justice for Jovian.
Yeah, justice for Jovian. 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 Justice for Jovian.
Justice for Jovian.
And it is so.
Yes, sir.
Please, could you close us out in prayer, Pastor?
Father God, I thank you on today, Lord. I thank you on today, Lord, that you brought these people